No talk, oh, please. I'm going live now. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. If you can see me, if you can hear me, I'd like to hear from you. You know how we do this, right? You know how we do this. You know how we do this, right? Leave a comment. Let me know where you're joining from. What part of Nigeria are you joining from? What part? Which state in Nigeria are you joining from? If you're watching us from diaspora, please tell us the country that you are watching us from. I want to see your comment. I can see Fumilayo. Oluwatoyin is live with me here. I'm so happy. Toyin, thumbs up to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can see your excitement. It's going to be a hot conversation today. A hot conversation today. Are you ready? Are you ready? Please drop your comment. Drop your comment. Drop your comments. Drop your comments if you're viewing me live right now. Drop your comments. Let me know where you're joining. Let me know. And don't forget, do well to share this post, tag your friends, mention their names in the comments of this post. Is about to get hot. Like it's about to get hot. Are you ready? Are you ready? My guest will be joining us shortly. But before she comes on board, I'd like to hear from you. How has been the conversation so far from episode one, episode two, episode three? How has it been with you? Hope you've been learning. What have been the highlights for the conversation so far with you? And what have you been implementing in your own business? I would like to hear from you briefly, 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 briefly. Share with us, share with us, share with us how the episode 1 to 3 has impacted your business, has impacted you as an entrepreneur. I'd like to know if I am not alone on this show. I'd like to know if I am actually doing something right and I'm actually impacting you. So if truly this Yes Initiative conversation has been of help to you, kindly drop it in the comment right now. Kindly drop it in the comment right now. Let me know that you are getting value. Let me know, let me know, let me know. I am not seeing comments yet. I am not seeing comments yet. Where are the people? Where are you joining me right now? Please drop it, 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 drop it. Thank you. I'll be expecting your comments. Drop, 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 drop before I bring my guest before I bring her live on the show. Please, I want to see your comments. Where are you joining from? How has the Yes Initiative conversation impacted you so far? Are you gaining value? Are you learning from this conversation? Let me know if I am not alone on this show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My guest is live right now. My guest is live right now, and I'll be bringing her on board. But before I bring her on board, I have not seen your comments. Don't watch me without engaging. It's going to be an interactive session. It's going to be an interactive session. As much as you can, please and please, please and please, interact as much as you can interact with us. If we ask a question, kindly respond with a satisfactory answer, and who knows, we'll get it going from there. So I will bring in on board my guest on the show. Hmm. My own Nita is here. Oh my God. Yeah, Nita Rare is here.
Good
Welcome,
morning.
Nita.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Welcome, 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 welcome. How's the voice now? I can hear
Well,
you.
I'm trying. Oh, good. I was really worried. It's not totally out, but I can try. Hello.
All right. So Avi, I'm so excited. Did you try the solution I offered yesterday on your comment, on your post rather?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Did you try? I commented on your post yesterday. Did
Oh,
you
okay,
try
okay, okay,
the?
okay. I did have, what's it called, honey. So I was taking lots of warm water. I think it helped a bit. Thank you. I can talk now a
I'm
bit.
glad.
It's not.
All right. Good to have you. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And I'm sure you're also happy here too to be live with me
Thank
on this
you.
conversation.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I am.
So guys, we are about to get started. We're about to get started. I have not been seeing comments. Only one comment from Oluwatoyin. Please, if you are being us right now, drop your comments. Let's know that we are not alone on this conversation, so that we can flow and flow and flow. It's gonna be an interactive session. Please engage as much as you can, and please share this post, share it with your friends, share it to your enemies, and invite someone to be a part of this conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Nita, back to you. So let's get it started. Briefly tell
I
us
think
who you are and you do.
Maureen, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I lost you for a bit. I can hear you now.
Oh, I asked, can you tell us who you are and what you do as a person?
Oh, okay. Okay. So if I got you right, who I am and what I do, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, for starters, thank you so much for having me. Before I introduce myself, I want to put out a disclaimer. This is not how I usually sound. I am literally the top queen, but I lost my voice. So, oh my god, it's really strange for me. I mean, it feels really really weird when I lose my voice. I cannot. I don't know the person talking. I cannot identify or cannot recognize the person talking. So it's. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to give this my very best, but you guys need to you need to know that this is not how I usually sound. I think I came down with a flu or something. So
Yeah.
my name is Neeta Rare. I'm the top queen. I am a multiple award-winning spoken word artist. Um, my awards range from the World Bank to United Bank of Africa to African Bank. I was a finalist on the Greta Chadwick poetry competition. Uh, I was also winner of the African Day poetry competition. In 2023, I was a double mention finalist for the Spring NG Poetry Contest. I am a voice actor as well. I use my voice to make ideas come alive. So I work with businesses and brands to give life to their ideas, to their audience, to their message. Also, I am personal effectiveness of productivity coach. I am big on being resourceful with time and productivity, and I have helped over 1,000 people achieve that so far. Currently, I run a group for accountability for 2024, where I'm helping people to stay true and on track with their goals for the year. That's 2024. I am also the founder and executive director of Street Mentors Network. Um, Street Mentors Network is a non-governmental organization that takes care of children on the streets. That is me in a nutshell. I love to learn. I love to learn. I'm a sucker for learning any day, anytime. I'm currently enrolled on three programs. I think one is from Cornell University for doing a course in leadership, running one on Allison for humanitarian work because of what I do. And then there's also another one with She Needs Africa, 3 months training on digital marketing. So yeah, I like to be a rounded person. I like people. I love to help. I love to learn. I love to grow and evolve. So that's me.
All right, thank you so much for that amazing introduction about yourself. You mentioned that you love to learn. You've trained quite a number of persons in as a spoken word artist, right, or as a public speaker, whichever one. It has to do with word, right?
Yeah.
And you also mentioned being the executive director of Strict Mentors. So, hello guys, I believe you've heard from her. You've heard who she is and what she does as a person. As we progress in this conversation, you get to learn some more things from her story. So stay tuned, tighten your seatbelts as we get the ball rolling. Share this post. Don't forget, share this post, tag your friends, mention their names in this video so they can learn as much as you're learning. Don't watch us all alone because it's about to get hot. Now, on to the next question, Nita. Everyone here knows that I have a spoken word artist. Let me put it, an accomplished spoken word artist on the show right now. And they are waiting to hear more from you. And I would like to ask, how did you get started? And which year, how and which year did you get started as a spoken word artist? Because I believe that those that are watching us here, many of them, of some of them wants to toe that part of spoken word, but they don't just know how to get started. They don't just know their way around it. So I would like to ask now, how did you get started as a spoken word artist and what year is that?
Okay. Thank you for the question, Maureen. Um, I think I believe. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Thank you. I believe I got started in 2000, and I always miss the year. I think it's 2015 or 16 or 17. I cannot remember the exact year. I apologize for that. So how I got started was I always love to talk, right? I'm very mindful of how I talk, how I speak. Um, I, I first learned about spoken word through a friend. She showed me a video. Um, the video was titled 31 Status Woman, and it was by Genetics of P4CM movement, Passion for Christ movement. Um, she's a spoken word artist, an accomplished global spoken word artist. And I remember seeing her performing that day, and I was like, this is it. I want to do this exact thing, right? So when I saw that video, I had never gone to that point. I had never done spoken word before, but when I saw it, I was in love with it. You see, I had been writing before this time, and I would like to use this time to the nexus between point out the nexus between writing and speaking. Those two things go hand in hand. Great writers are often great speakers because it's all about communication. You can communicate your thoughts on paper lucidly, clearly. Well, you can also communicate. You should be able to communicate your thoughts as clear verbally when you're speaking to people. So I watched that video and I knew I wanted to do this. I had been writing for a long time, writing stories, writing poems. I wrote my first poem when I was, I think, 8. So I saw that video and I decided to perform that poem as one status woman. I performed that poem in church and everybody loved it. And the feedback was amazing. And I went back and began to try to write my own poems, my own spoken word, because you see, page poetry is different from from spoken word, from performance poetry. We began to learn the nuances, began to study how to put um what's it called now? this there's a word for it in literature. I've forgotten what it's called. Metaphors, similes, hyperbole, um, punchlines, and all of those things in poetry. I can't remember what it's called, but I began to learn how to do that, and that's how I got started. And before this time, it was mostly free. I mean, I did a lot of gigs. I did a lot. I've gone places. I've been, I don't want to say scammed, but I would say I've been exploited. I've been taken advantage of. I've been cheated. And when I look back at it now, I regret none of it because I was very passionate. I was hungry and I wanted to learn. I wanted to understand better. So, yeah, that's how I got started. I didn't really have a mentor. I would spend hours on YouTube looking at what people were doing, what experts were doing. I would understudy lots of styles and experiment with different presentation methods and it went along.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. Thank you so much for that amazing insight on how you got started. And you mentioned something that caught my attention. You said you really do not have a mentor as and when you started, but you were always visiting YouTube, right? YouTube, searching for videos of those that have done it and still doing it. If I'm right, yes, still doing it. Then you kept watching and learning their side of delivery, and that is how you became a master of the art, right? And I'm sure along the line you also took in personal development trainings
I
in
love
order
it.
to
I love it.
brushing up that that skill, right? No, you say no.
No, no, no. I didn't say no. I said a lot of the yes, definitely.
Okay, okay, yes. So I actually learned that, and I must say yes. So many people are actually waiting for when they have all the money, when they have everything available at their disposal before they can launch out, before they can actually learn something or master a craft. Not knowing that they can learn from what they already have. And this is what you mentioned, YouTube. People don't know that YouTube as an app is a gold mine for many. If only they can go through it. Some people prefer to go to YouTube to watch movies, watch all manner of videos, comedies that add no value or add no impact to their life. If only they can understand that with YouTube, you can learn anything that you want to learn and become a master of it. They will try and take it more serious than how they have always taken it. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Dear viewers, I hope you're learning from our story. I hope you're learning. I hope you're learning. I still want to get more of your comments. If you're following me, if you're following this conversation, don't just view us without engaging. I would like to see your engagement. Drop your comments, tag your friends, share this post, and let this video go viral. Who knows? There is someone in your network, there's someone in your audience that might need this video to become a transformed person, a transformed entrepreneur. I want to play the part of being a spoken word artist. Thank you very much. So, to my guest now, I'll be asking you the next question. How long did it take you to land your first invite? How long did it take you to land your first invite to perform on stage as a spoken word artist? Did you get that question?
Yeah, I got the question. Thank you very much, Maureen. um, when you say first invite, are you talking paid gig or you're talking without paid or unpaid?
Okay. You can share both the paid and the free. the paid aspects and the free
Okay.
aspects.
Okay. So yeah, it didn't take me a year. I'm a very passionate person, right? When I want to do something, I bury my head in the sand. I plant my feet into the ground and I do what I need to do. I go all out for whatever it is that I need to do. So I was, I think, see, seriously, right? I think that those years were the formative year of my career, right? Because now I have a lot more responsibilities on my hands, and I don't have the luxury or privilege of extra time, to really invest in it. What I'm really doing right now is, I'm going back to the question you asked. What I'm really doing right now is, I'm doing more promotion for my art, for my work, because I've done my formative stage. I've hacked this thing. I've understood how to how to be exceptional. That thousands of people that is, I was going to say that from the beginning, but let me just take this time and say that there are thousands of spoken artists in the world, and the only thing that's going to set you apart is discovering what works for you, your style, and making sure that you are damn excellent at what you do. Make sure that nobody does what you do the way you do it. You're so excellent that Walt Disney said something. He said, when do whatever it is that you put your hand to do it so well that the person watching you will leave that place, go back and bring another person to come and see what you're doing. And then that person will bring another person and they will bring everybody they know to come and see what you're doing. So back to the question you asked me, it didn't take me a year. It just took me a couple of months. I got a lot of invites to do spoken word. They didn't pay me. I didn't mind. I was passionate. I was hungry. I wanted to explore, right? And those years formed me. And my paid gig, unfortunately I can't remember my first gig because when I started getting paid, they were coming at they're coming in quick successions, right? So I would get invited mostly to church programs, and then I also began to try out for auditions. Yeah, I began to try because you see, it can be very easy to stay in your small corner, and think, oh my God, I'm so good at what I do. Everybody's cheering me on. I'm a good champion. Go out there and audition and see what others are doing. You will know if you're really all that you say you are. So it didn't take me a long time. I think within the first 2 years, I got my first paid gig. I got the second one. Uh, One of my major gigs was, I mean, the first one that made me realize that I am doing something really, really, uh, something that has the potential to be scaled, to be massive rather, not scaled. Is when I got my flights was, my flight was booked in advance, to and fro. I was lodged in a hotel. I was taken outside the states to perform, and the experience was surreal. I was like, wow, someone did this for me. So yeah, that's it.
Mhm. All right. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Like, I believe that just from what you shared right now, you started from free. Like, you started performing free of charge at events before the paid one came to existence, right? You started from free before the page. But most people today, they just want to launch out and start tagging prizes to their offers, not knowing that you can actually volunteer your gift, your skill to serve someone. And from that platform, launch you out to your next gig, which will end up being a paid one. And you said
True.
it. You never knew that you were on the right track until you got an invite that covered for your logistics, covered for your hotel reservation, covered for your feeding, cover for everything that has to do with you showing up strong for that event. I can imagine that feeling. Like you'll be like, wow, so my gifts can actually make way like this for me. So I really get that part that you shared. If only those that are watching us that want to throw this part or being a spoken word artist. It's not every gig that you get that will come with being paid. Some will demand you to use their platform to showcase your talent, your skill. And from that, right from that platform, you might get the next person that will give you an invite. And by the time this invite comes up, who knows? It could be a deal that will amaze you and be like, wow, so I can really make money from this. I can really make money from this. So thank you so much, Nita, for that. At least I think you answered a question that we'll ask later. Somehow, this your response to the question I asked has already answered a part of another question. So let's get it going. Let's get it going. So the next question I have for you now is: I've seen you perform at an event that you invited me to, right? Do you remember? You remember, right?
I don't. I
I've seen you
don't.
perform.
I'm sorry.
You can't remember. At
Okay, okay, I
evening
remember.
church.
It was
Was
in
it last?
Lagos. Lagos. Lagos.
I
Yeah, yeah.
I saw you, right? You came to.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I said I've seen you perform at an event, and I must say your performance excites me that very day, and it excites my heart, and it also got people talking. Those that were around me then, they were busy talking while you were ministering that I think you were talking about Jesus Christ or something like that. You were just so free. You were flowing with this your presentation, and after you were done, people were still talking about it. They were still talking about it. Now the question now is how do you often come about some soul lifting spoken words that you get even at the dying minute? You might get because I used to read from you as well, and you will say that someone sent you an invite to perform somewhere, and maybe it's just 2 days to that event. That is when you get that invite, and you will deliver amazingly well. How do you often come up with such inspiration even at the shortest time possible?
Well, for starters, for starters, I I stopped accepting invites on a short notice because I believe that it does not place value on the gift, on the skill of the artist. It's a personal thing for me. I've grown to that extent I can turn down gigs that I don't feel are respectful of my art, not just my person, my art. Because as good as you can be, see Beyonce. Beyonce is great as an artist. You cannot invite Beyonce 2 days to an event. Are you crazy? forgive forgive my language, but it's impossible. She's good. She will deliver, right? But she has to rehearse. She has to practice. So it's practice. When you ask me how am I able to do that, it's practice, practice, practice. You write a line, you listen to it. How does it feel in your soul? How does it feel in your heart? It's not just the punchline. That's the thing I notice about many spoken artists or upcoming artists. It's not the punchline. Punchlines are important, but they're superficial on the message and deep. And the beautiful thing about my art, I use humor a lot. I use satire. I use humor. I can I can I don't want to say make a fool. I can make jest of anybody without them feeling bad. They would laugh along, but they will get the message, right? That is it takes a level of intelligence to be able to do that. And if you don't read, if you don't study, if you are not an avid learner, to show your art. That's just the truth. Sincerely, you should be so versatile in what you do that you can talk about geography. I'm not kidding. You can talk about the Alps. You can talk about icebergs. You can talk about geophysics. I have done a spoken word poetry. I'm not a Bitcoin enthusiast or a cryptocurrency enthusiast. I have done a spoken word poetry that was about blockchain technology. I have done that. I've done a spoken word project that used economics to teach people. So you should be so versatile, and you cannot be that if you're not someone that's given to learning. So I hope I've answered your question. It's learning, 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 practice, 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 rehearsal, tweaking, doing it again and again, getting better at it. That's it. I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Maureen.
You can hear me, right? I was muted. All right, so I believe the viewers are learning from this conversation. You mentioned something. You mentioned something that. You mentioned something that. All right. You mentioned something that. What was the question again? You mentioned that you don't accept invite from people at the dying minutes. That you have gotten to a point whereby you can turn down gigs, right? You can turn down gigs. Don't invite me when when it's already late. How do you expect me to prepare? Like, how do you expect me to plan for this performance? I'm of the opinion that if host of events actually respect those that they are inviting, they would have given that notice, let's say 1 month, 2 months, even 3 months ahead of the time to enable this person prepare thoroughly for it. Someone like me, I am not very good at impromptu presentation. I am not very good at it. I don't know how to just come up with presentation at the dying minute, 24 hours presentation, and you want me to deliver. I love to go in my best. I love to come out in my full self, not half baked presentation. You get it. So those that are watching us, I hope you got the response she said. She has gotten to that point whereby she can turn down gigs. If you won't respect my time, if you won't respect me that you are inviting, then there is no point me being at your event to perform. So take note of that. But as a starter, you need to do so much work on yourself. So when people are inviting you, they know that they are inviting not just anyhow person. They are inviting someone that is coming to the stage to deliver. Thank you so much, Nita, for that amazing response to that. So the next question I would like to ask now is there is a thin line between spoken word and public speaking. There is a thin line between spoken word and public speaking. Considering both of them are performance on words, you perform both on words. Now, can you tell us what difference can you what difference are there between spoken word and public speaking?
Okay, thank you, Maureen. So first I would like to say that spoken word is a type of public speaking. There are different. Before I got into spoken word, right? I went to a public speaking school. I trained to be a certified public speaker, and there I learned that public speaking is in different types, and I'll list a few of them. So we have motivational speakers, we have inspirational speakers, we have talk show hosts, we have TV/media personalities, we have spoken word artists, we have keynote speakers, we have uh, radio broadcasters that are still public speakers. We have about four, last I checked, about 14 or 15 identified different types of public speakers, right? A spoken word is only one of them. So you could say that spoken word, and you're right, and you're right if you say that actually, yes, it is. Spoken word is a type of public speaking. Public speaking refers to the art of addressing people in public, sharing your opinion, sharing your message, but in public. In public, could be one person, two persons, an audience of three, or a crowd speaking in public, right? So, but the thing is, spoken word springs from poetry. Public speaking can be done without poetry. Public speaking can be inspirational, can be motivational. Inspirational means somebody sharing their story of how they went through so and so and so and they succeeded. For instance, Michael Jordan or Les Brown. Motivational, for instance, um, Mel Robbins or Anthony or Tony Robbins also as well, right? Motivational, giving people a motive, a reason to want to succeed or to not give up, right? It could be Oprah Winfrey, talk show host, Oprah Winfrey, right? And you see that there rarely is an element of poetry demanded as a must have for all these other arms. The thing that sets apart spoken word poetry from the rest of them is that spoken word poetry is achieved from the nucleus of poetry. It has to employ those literary devices that are not mandatory in other forms of public speaking. So I hope I've answered that question clearly.
Yes, you answered the question correctly. You answered me right. You mentioned something that has to do with spoken word. Let's say spoken word is more like performing poetry, right? It's more like
Yes, please.
performing poetry.
Yes,
Why
please.
poetry itself? Why poetry itself is a written piece? Is the written piece. Why
Yeah,
spoken word
poetry.
is the
Poetry can be
performance?
written, it can be performed. Yes. Spoken word is performance poetry. There is page poetry
Mm-hmm.
that's written down, yeah, and it's different because the language is not the same. It's like speaking and writing. You do not write the way that you speak. It's amateur to find somebody writing the way they speak. There's a manner in which books are written that you cannot write the way in which you're
Speak that.
speaking. You can infuse a bit of that impersonality, right? But there's a manner in which books are written, as that's sort of like the difference.
I
It
got
has to
it
be
now.
really important.
And you also
Yeah.
mentioned public speaking has different genres like motivation, educative kind of public speaking, inspirational, depending on what you are called to speak on. That one you're actually telling a story, expressing yourself. But the other one that is spoken word is you performing your poetry, performing it and flowing based on some literary terms, right? Using some figurative expression to convey your message to your audience, right?
Yeah.
Am I am I right?
Yes, 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 correct. Figurative but relative, relatable rather. Yeah, has to be
All right.
relatable.
Thank you so much. Yes, we have our viewers saying amazing things about your session. Let's read what they are saying before we proceed. So Collins is saying you are spontaneous. You're spontaneous. You're a great poet. From the way you talk, from how you sound, one would even think that you're from diaspora. You're not a Nigerian. I yeah, so he also said that whatever you're sharing now is quite informative, and the way you are answering the question is kind of opening their eyes more and more. And Bridget
Okay.
Samuel said, I love how you are I love how she's answering all the questions intelligently. Intelligently. So thank you so much. Nita, they are following. They are following. Please keep it
Yeah.
coming. If you are watching us live and you're enjoying this session, please keep it coming. I have not seen you share this post. Why now? You know how we do this thing. Invite your friends, tag your enemies, join. In fact, this initiative conversation, we don't need to be learning all alone. Bring all your friends, tag their names in this post so that they can learn as well. We grow together. We grow together when we learn together. You get it? So please mention their name, tag them. And I've not even seen anyone tell us where they are joining from. Ah, Good. Well, you have been, from my own end, you have been this conversation from Lagos. Why from my guest end, she's joining this conversation from Uyo, if I'm not mistaken. So you to tell us where you're watching us from. Drop it in the comments. If you're from Lagos, if you're from Abia, if you're from Enugu, Abuja, wherever you are watching from, please drop it. And if you're not even a Nigerian, drop it and let us know what this conversation has been doing to your mind so far. Please, 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 please. Thank you very much. So on to the next question, Nita. I'm aware that you are the founder of Street Mentors Network. How are you able to navigate your journey as a spoken word artist and being the founder of a thriving NGO?
Well,
And I also believe that I believe that there are some other things you do as a person. There are some other things you do. If you don't mind, you can tell us what are those things you do other than being a spoken word artist, being the executive director of Street Mentors Network, which is an NGO, and I know about it as well. So tell us all about this question now. Aside spoken word artist, tell us about Street Mentors. Tell us about what other things you do as a person. Thank you.
okay. Thank you, Maureen. I often like to refer to myself as a multi-potentialite, and well, sometimes because you see, I believe in the creativity of the creator, right? So the creator is a very creative personality, and there's no possibility in this world or in another world that the God who created you, who is extremely creative, could create you and you're not creative too. Another thing about him is he's multidimensional. I do not believe, it's my personal belief, it could differ, but I do not believe that anybody is created to be one expression of themselves. No, I don't think so. God is a healer, God is a provider, God is a father, God is a teacher, God is a comforter, God is everything, depending on what you need for time and where you need Him to be for time. So the same thing applies to me. I am not one thing. I am different things. I am like the wind. I can be a storm. I can be a breeze. I can be a hurricane if it needs to be. I can be a whirlwind. I can just be soft, gentle air passing, right? So, to answer your question, when you understand this, when you understand that you're not created to be boxed as one thing, then navigating this is not really a problem. It's not a big deal. I'm all for balance. I love to talk about balance. Why? Because I am different things. I have got to achieve balance. But see, let me tell you something, guys. The idea of balance is a myth. You could shoot me for this, but it's the truth. Let me explain what I mean. The time I am showing up as a badass spoken word artist, right? The area of my life that needs me to be a compliant daughter with time to my parents is going to suffer a bit because unlike God, I am not omnipresent. So if I am present as a street mom taking care of street children, what that means is that I cannot be present in that moment somewhere else. And that aspect is put on hold, or the effort I put into it is going to be minimized. And you should be comfortable with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I used to try to kill myself because of trying to get everything in the same proportion at the same time on the equal frequency. And let me tell you, it's draining. It's absolutely draining because it's not possible. Especially when you are just, you're starting out, you don't have a team you don't have that team, that big team that is able to handle different expressions of you. So to go back to your question, Street Mentors Network is an organization that takes care of street children. I founded it in 2021, and so far we've worked with over 200 street children. We've taken some off the streets, we've assailed some with their parents. We've worked with organizations like Child Protection Network, Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare in the five of the state. We've done a lot of things, done outreaches, we've fed children, we've clothed them, we've taught them, we sent some to school, and we're still on it. So street mentors came out of a passion that I have. I hate injustice. I hate helplessness. I hate helplessness. I hate to be helpless. And I definitely hear I don't like to see people being helpless. So that's why I started Street Mentors Network. And because I knew what I wanted, I was able to, by God's grace, attract the people I needed on my team. So that's about it. You asked another question. Part B, the question has grandchildren. So the other part about what other things I do, um, I'm a voiceover artist. I have worked with different brands. I have worked with the Venus Thomas Leadership Academy. I've worked with Christian Hartman Consulting, that's a company in Germany. I have voiced for John Obidi. I have voiced for First Bank. Excuse me. Um, I've worked with different brands, right? I'm also a brand storyteller. Excuse me. I've been coughing for a while. That's why I lost my voice. I work with different brands as a brand storyteller. So you come to me and tell me your idea, and I create a story for your brand and your catchphrase or your tagline. I write your script, I do your voiceover, and you get an amazing job. People come to me, talk to me about how they struggle with productivity, time management, planning, and all of that, goal setting. Is because I focused on developing myself so much that some parts of it I have been able to master or understand it, and I can then help other people. So yeah, those are parts and pieces of my life, and there's more to come.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You mentioned something very vital. You said everyone is a multi-potentialite. Even you as a person, no one is born to do one thing. Yes, this is why we can be a sister to somebody, we can be a mother to someone, we can be a staff in a company, we can be a core worker in the church. One person serving at different facets of life, different areas. That has just defined the fact that we cannot do one thing. No one is born to do one thing. We are made to do many things, just that so many people have not discovered that side of them, that they can actually achieve many things as one person. And you mentioned that not only are you a spoken word artist, you are the executive director of Street Mentors Network, an NGO that caters for the helpless one in the streets of Uyo. And you also went about talking about partnering or working alongside with another organization that has been of help to yours too. And you mentioned being if I'm not, yes, you mentioned being a voice artist, yes, a voice over
Voice
artist.
acting.
You've done voice yes, you've done voiceovers for personalities like John Obidi. You've done voiceover for, if I'm not mistaken, you've done for First Bank, right?
Yes, I have.
Uh, Right? Am I right? You've done for First Bank and you've done for other amazing organizations like that. What a package you have. You are really loaded. You are really loaded. So I must commend all you've been doing. I also encourage everyone watching us. There is always something that you can do. You are not born for one thing. Those that often tell you that you should focus on one thing per time. Yes, it's good to focus on one thing per time. If that be the case, God Himself or the Master in the Bible, in the story of the talent, He wouldn't have given one one servant 5 talents, the other one 2 talents, and the other one one. Is He give every one of us according to our capacity. He knows what we can handle per time. That is why He's going to embed talent according to what we can do. So there's no one thing to one person. We can always do many things at a time. Just like, let's take for instance now, I'm hosting the Years Initiative conversation. And also, Building Creative Minds Academy is there. I'm offering services to my client. I'm coaching, right? I'm running an offline business that hasn't made it to Facebook yet. There are a lot of things that online I haven't even known about. So there's something that we can all do. We are not born for one thing. We are not born for one thing. The essence of life is impacts. As you are making profits, you're also impacting life. So I believe Nita has broken that aspect. She's just multi-talented. She's multi-purpose. If you find her here, she will deliver 200%. If you invite her as a voice actor, she's going to deliver more than 300%. She brings her all in everything that she sets her mind to do. Yes, you can be jack of all trade and be master of all. Do you believe with me? You can be jack of all trade and be master of all. The adage that says jack of all trade and jack of all trade, master of none, is not applicable to everyone. If you have the capacity, if you have built yourself to that point where you can handle anything, I'm telling you, there is nothing that will be too big for your mind to handle. And this starts from developing yourself. You have to keep developing your mind. You have to start seeing yourself that you can do anything regardless the obstacle that might pose a threat to you achieving that thing. So I believe you are learning from this, and my guests have already spoken all you need to know on that. Thank you so much, Nita, for that response you've given. And on to the next question. I'd like to ask, how do you feel? How do you feel each time you receive a special invite to perform with your bank account feeling diminished? I can see it.
Question. Okay. Just give me a second. All right, guys. I'm really sorry. I just need to have a drink. Um. So yeah, that question really got me smiling because, woo, I love money. I love money. I love money. You know why I love money? I know the scripture says the love of money is the root of all evil, but it's a kind of love you love money that's not the root of all evil, my dear. When you remember what money can do, you wow. I mean, I have had money and I have not had money. When I mean money, I mean good money. And trust me, having money is better. So to answer your question, I feel delighted. That's the truth. I feel see, there's nothing as beautiful as eating the fruit of the labor. Even the scripture says that it says that we should that the laborer is worthy of his wages, or the husbandman should be first partaker of the vine. So when you see your sweat is yeah a lot, but you get the point. Like when you see somebody or people or an organization pay you for your skill that you have developed, the talent that you have turned into a skill. It's beautiful. It gives you this sense of meaning. It makes you know that wow, I'm actually doing something with my life. I'm on the right track. I'm actually doing something with my life. So um yeah, I feel delighted. And if I may, let me just use this opportunity to address something from the previous question, Maureen. So I said that we're not created to do one thing. Please, to everybody watching this, or to those who will watch this letter, please don't get me wrong. It is good to start with one thing. Become a master in that thing. Become so proficient at it. You can do it with your eyes closed. Become graceful. Do it effortlessly. And then you can proceed to the next one. It's not enough to do many things and you don't do anyone well. And that saying, Jack of all trades and master of none, is not always complete. People say it. The full saying goes, Jack of all trades, master of none, often better than master of one. So you can be a lot of. Look at Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is an executive director. She's a movie producer. She's a businesswoman. She's a talk show host. She's a philanthropist, an investor. She's so many things. She's a godmother to different people. Do you understand? So you can be many things actually, but you just make sure that whatever it is that your hand find it to do, you do it with diligence. You do it with all your might, all your strength, and all your heart.
Hmm. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. Dear viewers, I believe you've heard from her. She mentioned that you can start with something, focus on gaining mastery on that thing, and spread your wings across other things that you can do. And then you need to master it, not just having too many things to do at the same time. Or let's say you just want to have title, you do this, you are into this, you are into that, but when they call you for something, you can't actually deliver well on it. The beauty of your multi-purposefulness is you being able to deliver at everything that you are asked to do. That was why I said if she's being called as a spoken word artist to perform, she will deliver excellently well. If she's called up to deliver as a voice actor, she's going to deliver excellently well because she has mastered her craft. She has mastered her craft. You can do this and still do another. The most important thing is gain mastery. Competency should be your watchword in everything that you are doing. Competency should be that watchword. And she mentioned something about how she feels each time she gets paid for her skill for performing somewhere. She said she often feel excited, like happy. Who won't feel happy? Who won't feel happy? This kind of validates the fact that you are on the right track, you are doing the right thing at the right time. For someone to see you doing something out there and they call you, they invite you to come and speak, and yet pay you, cover for your logistic, your hotel reservation, your feeding, and everything that adds to you being at that event. It shows that they respect your gifts and they want to let you know that we can do anything just to have you come present for us. So that excitement, that joy from within, that fulfillment that comes with knowing that with your gift you can stand before kings and queens, you can get paid for it. It's non-negotiable. I believe you're learning. I believe you are getting value from this session. Please leave your comments. Please engage with this conversation if you are gaining value. So, Nita, on to the next question. What are the challenges you often experience while preparing for a performance, and how do you often overcome them? I believe challenges often come once in a while. How do you handle these challenges? How?
Um, Sorry, not really too good. So yeah, how do I deal with challenges? I face? Some of the challenges I would say is mm, from my end. What challenge do I really face? From my end, my end, my end. It's just the just I wouldn't say I really face a lot of challenges. I can't think of one from my end. I wouldn't call it a challenge. I would say okay, it's just demands of the art, demands of your work, career. You need to stay focused. You need discipline. to be able to rehearse as at when you need to rehearse, to practice, to rehearse, because see, you can get so good that it can be tempting to not to reduce what you were doing that got you to this point. So yeah, the challenges majorly sometimes come from the host of the event. But I always try to resolve that by understanding what it is that they want and making sure that they understand what it is that they need to do for me to facilitate my giving their audience a great time and unforgettable memory. So that's it. Hi, Maureen. You there? Hi, Maureen. Yeah.
Yes, I am. All right, you mentioned staying focused and discipline. That is how you can overcome challenges. Truly, challenges are part of whatever we are going to face as an entrepreneur. How we are able to handle it is it's dependent on how focused, how disciplined that we can be in order to scale through it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Moving on, you mentioned something in one of the questions asked. He said, while you were starting, you do not have a mentor. You just go to YouTube and catch some videos to learn and see how people do their things. And from there, you started gaining mastery before you delve into personal development training. Now, as it stands now that you are now, would you say you have a mentor? If yes, what role has mentorship played in your becoming?
Okay, so um, you wouldn't say that I have. I wouldn't say that I have a mentor for as foremost. I would say that I have role models.
I would say
Well, as I have role models, these role models help to shape the way I perform and the style basically. Um, I would say that I have mentors that help me in the business side of what I do. Right? Because in essence, it's always very easy for us to consider. I think I've known myself that it's very easy for us to neglect our the business side of what we do. So um yeah, mentors help with that. And who that mentor me on the business side of what I do, and it helps me to not neglect the fact that I need money to maintain this thing I'm doing.
all right. So that means it's not in all cases that everyone must have a mentor, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Uh, you need mentors sometimes. Sometimes you need mentors. Mentors make the journey. Um, they help you to avoid the pitfalls of the journey. Some of them help you to avoid making mistakes that they have made. Right. So what do you do when you have a mentor? You have to go on. You have to try. You have to do anything else. You have to see the model from a distance.
All right. Okay. So you mentioned that you have role models, not mentor per se. So that means we can actually learn from people from afar, even without making them mentors, and we can also achieve a lot by watching how they do these things, even without having them drawn close to us, or maybe take some mentorship kind of trainings that we often see today. So thank you very much. Why mentorship is applicable to some persons is not applicable to everyone. So thank you. On to the next question. I would like to ask, at this point you are now, would you say you have evolved from when you started and now? Would you say you've grown?
The answer to that question is one syllable, one sentence. Yes.
Yes. You said yes, right?
Yes.
Certainly you must have grown, because it's only someone that have grown up to this point that can do as much as you are doing today. You have already built the capacity, you've evolved over the years, and I must commend all you've been doing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. So if you're opportune to turn back the hands of time, would you want to toe this path that you're currently treading on?
I didn't get you.
If you are opportune to turn back the hands of time, would you want to toe the path that you're currently treading on?
Yes, yes. I would do some things differently. But yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So another question for you. How are you able to handle your low time moments? Times when you feel you are not doing enough, times when you just want to run away from everything. Those times, how do you handle such times and bounce back again?
Well, I seek inspiration, right? I seek inspiration either from external sources. I can watch a video, I can listen to somebody talk. Um, if internal motivation doesn't work or internal inspiration doesn't come, or this creative block thing, if it doesn't work, if it's not working, I take a break. See, one of my mantra in life, I don't use it all the time because people who are lazy, this is their mantra. Or I adopt this mantra as strategic turning point of, of fixing my life. And I tell myself, I can't keep myself. If it's not coming, it's not coming. I can't force inspiration. No one to take a break. Rest. Oh my God, kill yourself.
All right, you say you can't kill yourself. Oh, that's amazing. Can't kill yourself. You have to do it when you feel like doing it. Okay, so on to the next question. Second to the last question for you. As a spoken word artist, is this something you want to do for a lifetime or just for the meantime?
I want to spoken word poetry till I die. I don't want
Hmm.
things, but I want to do spoken word poetry till I die. Instantly. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Wow. Our last speaker said something. In the course of our conversation, she said something. Obsession is deeper than passion. So I would like to say that for you to want to do this thing for a lifetime till you die, like in quotes now, it means that you are not only passionate about it, you're obsessed about it. It's more of life to you. It's more of purpose to you. If you don't do it in a day, if you don't do it at a particular time, you just don't feel complete. You don't feel fulfilled deep within you. So I believe my viewers are learning, they're learning. So many people want to do things today because they see other people doing it. Their own motivation comes from other people's achievements. They have not really defined it for themselves what they actually want to do. If this thing, because they heard that there is gold mine in spoken word, so they want to toe that path and start being a spoken word artist or every other thing that they are doing. And along the line, just give them a space of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You won't see them anymore in the marketplace. So whatever we are doing today, let's learn to divine it. If it's a long-term thing, we have to give it our all, be obsessed about it, and before you know it, the world will come knocking at your feet. And the last question for my guest today is, what one advice do you have for aspiring spoken word artists watching us right now? What one advice do you have for them?
It's hard to say one advice. I'll try to put it all together. Be excellent. See, I'm going to say it the way it is. I'm sorry, but sometimes I see spoken word artists who are just starting, or and I I, I s- I see people trying to copy people's style and people's way of talking, presentation, and you won't get far with that. You won't, seriously, you won't. Be exceptionally excellent. Number one. Number two, know your seasons. Why? The creative industry in this part of the world is budding. There are people who want to exploit you and take advantage of you. That is why you will not waste time. And you should not waste time in mediocrity. Try as fast as you can to be excellent at what you do. So you can begin to have. I saw a movie. The movie is Warrior Nun. Warrior Nun, Mary said something to um, Eva. She told Eva, she said, when you have value, you have control. When you have value, you have control. People will control you to the extent of the value that you bring, which is that is replaceable. When they see that your value is not replaceable, no one can control you. The faster you get valuable, faster you gain control. That's it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Namori.
You mentioned
Yes, I can hear you,
the
Namori.
fact the faster you get value, faster the rate you get controlled. People want to control you based on the amount of value you are bringing. And she said, whatever you find yourself doing, whatever you find your hands doing part time, be excellently excellent at it. Note that word. Be excellently excellent at what you do. Don't do a mediocre kind of job. Don't do it because you don't care. After all, after all, when you know others, I don't care attitude. She said, be excellently good. Me, I would say be dangerously good at what you are doing. People only pay you for how excellent you deliver on a project. So I'm also of the opinion that it's better to undercharge and over-deliver than over-deliver and undercharge. In case you don't get it, it is better to undercharge and over-deliver than overcharge and under-deliver. So whatever we find our hands doing, let's do it well. When you do one task very well, you open the door to receive more from that same person who will refer you more to other of their network. Do you get it? So let this be at the front of your mind. I won't say at the back of your mind right now. Let it sink in. Whatever you are doing, be excellent. If you don't know how to do it, learn from those that are doing it well and master the game. It's in mastery that you open yourself up for more opportunities. Thank you to my guest for this amazing session with her. I learned a lot from her, and I believe you also learned from it. I believe you also learned from it. What is the highlights from this section for those that are watching us? What did you pick from this session that yes, this is what you gained from it? Please drop it in the comments. If you also have a question for my guest, drop it. She will attend to it after this live show. And if you're catching the replay of this conversation, please let us know where this conversation helped you and shaped your thought pattern, even as you journey through your own business and on your own entrepreneurship journey. Thank you, Neeta Rare, for coming. I appreciate you for honoring my invite once again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm done with you, Neeta.
Thank you for having me, Maureen.
Thank you
I
for
would
having me,
love to
Maureen.
join it. It was a privilege to share a bit of what I know today.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So you may leave now so I can have a general discussion now. Thank
Um,
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So everyone, as you've heard from our guests, I hope you learned from her. Thank you for coming to the Yes Initiative Conversation episode 4. I will talk to you again next week. And next week's session, you wouldn't want to miss it because our guest will be another banger for you. Don't forget, you can still ask your question, drop it, and our guest will attend to it after the conversation. Okay? Thank you and do have a wonderful Tuesday ahead. I will see you next week till I come your way again. Bye.